Welcome to Highways and Hometowns, the podcast that takes you on a high-speed journey through resilient infrastructure, economic growth, and celebrates the beating heart of Texas, as well as hometowns throughout America. Join us as we dive into the triumphs and challenges of communities, adapting and innovating amidst the twists and turns that go into the extraordinary achievements that shape our world. Get ready to build knowledge, lay some concrete foundations of success, and ride the waves of progress on one of the most engaging engineering podcasts in the Lone Star State. This is Highways and Hometowns.
Welcome to the episode number 4 of Highways and Hometowns by the Texas Concrete Pipe Association. From sprawling plans to busting urban communities, we're here to celebrate the unstoppable spirit of the Lone Star State with unyielding commitment to progress. Now, you guys get ready to build your knowledge. We're going to lay some concrete foundations and ride the waves of progress right here on probably one of the most exciting, entertaining engineering podcasts, if you will, in the Lone Star State. So, here we go. First of all, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Steve Nilforsen, Director of Technical Resources for Rinker Materials, and your host, the Director of the Texas Concrete Pipe Association, Concrete Cowboy, Giddy Up Wrangler Man himself, looking sharp and spiffy.
Let's get rolling.
Patrick Charlton.
Let's get rolling.
How you doing, Patrick?
I'm fantastic, Steve. How are you today?
Good. Told you earlier, man. Suit looks sharp.
Man, look.
Cleaned up nice.
Cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah. I got so used to seeing you at the Wash Toe conference out in Hawaii in swim trunks and all, yeah.
Man, it felt good to have a Hawaiian shirt and shorts on. I'm not going to lie about that.
I was wondering why the cowboy hat wasn't on with the swimsuit.
You know, I may have to pull that off next time we're out there.
Rhinestone,
Absolutely.
call you the Rhinestone Cowboy.
Oh,
the
here
Aloha
we go.
Cowboy.
Here we go. The Aloha Cowboy.
Yeah. We're here in Waco, Texas, right dead smack in the middle of, almost the middle of the state, kind of the middle eastern part of the state, and it's hot. Man, it's steamy outside right now.
It's
Temperatures are up in around 110s.
23 days already straight 100-degree weather in Texas.
Man, how are you not sweating in that suit?
Hurricane season
how
already
are you
started.
not sweating? You're not hot?
Well, it's 40 degrees in this conference.
Yeah, it is
center
40
here.
degrees,
I mean,
yeah.
They turned it down.
Yeah, they did. They
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Yeah, it did. I got to get me a cowboy hat, dude. I feel like something's missing. I feel like I don't belong, you know? I'm in Texas.
I'm going to get me a gym membership after looking at you, bro. That's what I'm going to do.
Here we go.
Hey, I wanted to tell you this last podcast. All right, we got 23 days of record heat.
Okay.
All right. Hurricane season started June 1st. We already got tropical storms forming.
Yep.
So if you thought that rattlesnakes, coyotes, cactus, the only thing that can mess with you in Texas, you are wrong.
No.
Natural disasters are crazy.
They're all over the place. All over the place. Yep. And it's going to be, it looks like with this heat, it's coming into the 4th of July. You know, you got any big plans for the 4th weekend coming up?
Man. My family loves fireworks. We're going to watch fireworks right outside the back patio. Most of y'all know I live out by Lake Travis. They shoot them off right over the lake. It's fantastic. Great celebration.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Should be a good time.
Roast marshmallows. Just make the s'mores. We're ready to go.
That's it.
Absolutely. How about you?
I need a long break. You know, we're in the concrete pipe business. Been laying a lot of pipe in the last few weeks. So need to take a break from the pipe laying and kind of just chill out a little bit, see some fireworks, like you said.
There are thousands of people all over the country laughing at Steve right now. Steve's comments right there. I love that. He's got to take a break from laying pipe. I love that, y'all.
Hey,
for those of y'all that don't know, Steve is not a native Texan.
Nope.
Steve, tell everybody where you're from.
I'm from Louisiana originally. So I grew up in Baton Rouge. Went to Louisiana State University. Started out working with the highway department in Louisiana and then relocated to California. I still live in California, but I do frequently visit friends and family back in Louisiana, and I have to do a shout-out to the LSU Tigers for pulling off that World Series win of putting Florida 6 feet under, so to speak. So we put that nail in a coffin, took home a championship. I think that they're having a parade right now as we speak. So
they sure are.
Yep.
Baton Rouge getting torn down bit by bit now.
Oh, it is. It is. So what else is going on? What we got? We're at the Texas Public Works Association conference still. We've been recording several episodes from here. It's been a really dynamic conference. A lot of great breakout sessions. A lot of great presentations. on everything from asset management to roads, highways, to drainage systems, you name it. Anything you noticed that stands out of the conference?
No, I think the amount of people, the volume of people here has been fantastic. The amount of participation they've gotten from actual public works departments has been really good. Plus, you have all the ancillary groups that work around that industry have all been here in support as well. So I think it's fantastic.
Yep. Awesome.
You know, one thing, Steve, that we haven't done in the first three is talk a little bit about our TCPA family.
Yep.
Steve works for a company called Rinker Materials. Rinker is one of the founding members of TCPA. We also have 6 other member companies. So we'd like to thank you guys for being our bread and butter, our heart and soul, our pulse of TCPA.
Absolutely.
But we also have 30 associate members.
Yep.
Right? These are all the folks that help us do our job, supply us, carry us through the day-to-day operations.
Right. And speaking of, I mean, again, like Patrick said, I'm with Rinker. So one really cool thing about the TCPA is, yes, we're all competing companies, if you will. There's Rinker, Ameritex, Oldcastle, but we all work together as industry. We have a unified message, goal, and we work together as a team. So that's one really cool thing about the association. Along with our associate members, we're one big collaborative team, and we put teamwork to work, if you will. And that's one thing when we meet with public work agencies and DOTs, they like to see us all working together.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that just kind of sets us apart from other industries is our collective we.
Yep.
The family inside the companies.
Yes.
A little over 5,700 people make up our businesses. Hardworking Texans, men, women, old, young.
Right.
We got a great diverse group. Our companies are majority minority employees. We like to hang our hat on diversity.
Yep.
And then just the amount of product that we move throughout the state and the impact we have. $1.8 billion annual impact our industry has on the state of Texas in a positive way.
There is so much going on. And Texas is exploding. I mean, they say everything is bigger in Texas, and I mean, it's pretty dead on. I mean, there's population of 30 million people in Texas. Some facts: number one, Texas leads the nation in major flood events per year. Also, economic damages per year and flood-related deaths per year. I mean, that's huge, being the size of the state. We talk a lot about resiliency when it comes to sustainability and infrastructure and safety, and so that's one reason that we talk about that. So yeah, I mean, it's a booming state in all aspects.
Absolutely.
So on this episode, we have not one but 2 guests. Patrick, you want to share with the audience who's going to be joining us here in a second?
Sure. We've got Aaron Martinez from Bexar County and Luis Maltos from the city of San Antonio. They're going to be joining us here in a second. But before they do, and they're going to tell you all about San Antonio from a public works and an infrastructure perspective. But, we like preparing for these things. We do a little bit of homework on the back end.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I found something about San Antonio I didn't know. Now, all of you know that I'm pretty proud to be a Texan. That's the understatement of the year. I know, right?
No.
And so you'd immediately go to the Alamo, and you would jump to that. You'd probably think Patrick's going to say something about the Alamo, and I did, clearly.
Yeah.
Or the Riverwalk. The Riverwalk, too. But I'll tell you something I didn't know.
What's that?
The first Church's Chicken was opened in San Antonio, Texas.
Really?
Now, I would have thought the first breakfast taco. If you've never had breakfast tacos in San Antonio, you never even lived.
Did you use ChatGDP for that?
The first Church's Chicken in San Antonio, Texas, right there.
That's awesome.
So just when y'all think it's all about Mexican food, Tex-Mex, or the Alamo, don't forget Church's Chicken.
Don't forget your chicken.
Okay, we're going to dive in and get our guests in?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Aaron,
gentlemen, come right on in.
Come on over.
Watch your step.
We're gonna have you introduce yourselves once they get mic'd up and get their headphones on.
A round of applause.
All right,
for
folks, we're going to
gentlemen.
start with Aaron Martinez. Then you kick it over to Luis. Y'all tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely, yes. My name is Aaron Martinez. I work for Bexar County Public Works. Been there for 26 years in the operations side as a superintendent. Born and raised in San Antonio, so
Nice.
It's my hometown. And by the way, Patrick and Steve, thank you so much for
Absolutely.
having us here.
We're so glad you joined us.
And congratulations on LSU's great
Thank you.
latest championship.
Thank you.
Had to
Oh, yeah.
Give you the.
Well, we're going to be celebrating for a week now.
I'm sure more than a week.
Maybe 2.
But yeah, and I appreciate you having us here, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And then, Luis, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you guys for the invite.
Absolutely.
It's awesome to be here with you guys in Waco. So, Luis Mantos, I'm an assistant director with the City of San Antonio. So my role is, unlike Aaron's on the operational side, I'm on the capital program side with the City of San Antonio. So I oversee all of our capital projects. So design, construction of all of our streets, drainage, parks projects,
nice.
And even our facilities, right? We build fire stations, police stations, community centers. So, happy to be with you guys today.
Absolutely. Look, let's talk a little bit about San Antonio and Bexar County. Okay, for those of you out there that are not from Texas or you're not around the Central Texas area, it isn't spelled B-E-A-R, and it's not spelled B-A-R-E. Tell us how to spell Bexar County so we all understand.
Educate us,
Okay,
please.
yeah, exactly. I lived in San Antonio all my life, and I always get people, when I give them my business card, they say Bexar County. I'm like, no, it's not Bexar
Y'all been
County.
to Bexar County?
Yeah, Bexar County. I'm like, I know. It's Bexar County, which is B-E-X-A-R. Yeah, I get that a lot. So
Pronunciations are weird. Not to go off the tangent, but I had a friend from Mississippi move in with me years ago as my roommate to California, right? Never left Mississippi. There's a store called Anthropology, right? He's never seen it. So we're walking in this plaza. He looks at it, and I kid you not, he goes, "What's anthropology?" And I looked at him. I'm like, man, here we go.
Here we go. It's going to be one of those days.
It's going to be one of those days.
Well, look, not a lot of people know this, but the San Antonio Metroplex, including Bexar County, 7th largest city in the United States. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? I mean, I remember when it was a little bit smaller of a town, right? When that and Bernie were 2 different cities, right? And so talk to us a little bit about the change that's happened in the county and the city and how y'all have had to adapt over the years.
Well, as you know, the growth in San Antonio it's multiplied tremendously. East side of San Antonio, on the far northwest side, up by the Bernie area, has grown, and currently they're doing a lot of push to growth on the south end side of San Antonio. So, for the city and the county, as far as us maintaining it and building it, infrastructure has it's put a lot of pressure on us to try to keep up with the growth. So,
Absolutely, like he was saying, in the next 10 years, we're looking at not only increasing, but probably doubling the amount of people in San Antonio. So,
repeat that for people at home. Now, you're the 7th largest city in the U.S.
Largest city. So by 2030, 2040, you're looking at getting close to double the amount of people that are coming into San Antonio. If you live in California, you live in all those places. San Antonio is the place to be, and Texas is the place to be.
No doubt about it.
And so with that comes a lot of challenges, right? When it comes to transportation and making sure the infrastructure is up to speed.
Right.
So those are the challenges that we're having to deal with in San Antonio. Which
let's get a little bit into the departments you work in. You work in the drainage and streets, and Luis, you deal with a little bit more of the financial side of it. Those are the most important components of this growth that we're talking about. That doubling in size, nobody brings their own roads, nobody brings their own funding, nobody brings any of that, right? They come to Texas and they come to the city of San Antonio or Bexar County expecting all of that infrastructure to be there waiting on them, right? Talk to us a little bit about your individual departments and what you kind of oversee in those departments, and then also maybe how you're looking to do innovatively fund projects that you foresee upcoming.
Yeah, I can kick it off. So first of all, we're at City of San Antonio right now. We're trying to wrap up our 2017 bond program, right? So we had over about $800 million in bond projects, streets, the majority in streets and drainage. So we're about 97% complete. I look throughout the nation, and there's very not many cities are able to complete a bond program within those 5 years. So we've been successful the last several years at putting out some of our bond programs. And back in last year, May of 22, the city citizens voted on a $1.2 billion bond program. Wow. So we just got that started last year. We're currently issuing notices to proceed for design. So if you can imagine, in a 5-year cycle, Right now, we're the first year getting all the designs complete. So towards the second, third year, that's when construction begins to peak. So, if you go to San Antonio and you see a lot of construction, just wait.
I see.
There's a lot more coming.
I see. So apparently one of the biggest infrastructure projects in San Antonio is an ongoing expansion of the improvements of the transportation system through something called Connect SA initiative. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, that's more driven with our transportation planning folks, Connect SA. So, I'm more on the implementation side.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Implementation side of the house. That's a lot of the planning. That's it's a collaborative effort with our transit, with VIA, with Bexar County,
right?
With a lot of NPO transportation folks.
That just came to mind because when you said a lot of people are moving, the growth of San Antonio, and like you said, with that growth comes you have to improve the roadway, the infrastructure, and you have to make way for that capacity.
Yeah. And I tell you, that's been one of our biggest challenges with construction. Comes a lot of inconvenience as well, right? So one of the biggest challenges is how do we impact businesses? So moving forward, like every bond program has been a learning experience.
Right.
So one of the things that we got to improve next year is how do we deliver these large capital projects and yet have a lesser impact on the traveling public, on the business owners. So that does become a challenge.
I want to stay on that a little bit because nobody has talked about this yet. I'm interested with both of you guys because my brother-in-law lives out past 1604 on 281, and the big expansion of 281's happening, and you talk about the inconvenience, and if you just listen to folks, they'll be like, God, when are they going to ever finish 281? Or it's the traffic through there. But y'all, I remember 15 years ago, he would say, man, are they ever going to expand 281? It's a 2-lane road out here, and at every stoplight, every block. Do y'all remember they used to say that,
Absolutely.
And it's interesting now that you bring that up. It come to mind that, we need the progress. We need the expansion, the double decks. We need all that for the traveling public. But, yes, it does come as a short-term inconvenience for sure. How are y'all handling that?
Well, as for us, because you say 281 and that north side, the area that I maintain is Bandera Road, north 1604, east to I-10 and Foster Road. So I know all the expansion has been going off 281, Marshall Road, Bulverde Road. For those of you guys that live in San Antonio, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But, and when I tell folks, when you come out, folks that have lived in Houston or in Austin, the traffic is not near as bad as you would in these other metropolitan cities. San Antonio is still not bad. You can get from one side of town to the other side of town.
Compared to Dallas.
Or to compared to other places within, reasonable 30, 45 minutes.
Right.
But yes, you'll always have that complaint about traffic, about when they're going to get it done, how fast you're going to get it done. And then when it's done, it's like, oh my God, this is pretty good. But the challenges I think Luis and us experienced during this is once we build out a project, the growth is happening so fast that that project we just finished will probably be on the list here in the upcoming future to expand it even more, or to add more arterial roads to it to make it a lot easier for folks to travel to there.
With all this growth along that corridor, it seems like pretty soon San Antonio and Austin are just gonna merge into one big kind of metroplex, if you will. Yeah.
And you say that right now, and in 7 years we'll be talking about.
Oh yeah,
it's a metroplex. It's a city in Austin and San Antonio.
It's interesting that we're in this conversation now because. I've been trying in a podcast to every Texas city does something really well, right? And City of Houston has partnered with FHWA in some ways that are just innovative to do really great things. I'll tell you what the city of San Antonio has done well for generations is build out those arteries of highways. Look at San Antonio's infrastructure system. It's got this cylindrical loops. It's got arteries in and out, multiple venues throughout the city. Look at Austin, 2. We got one way in, one way out, and 2 roads. That's it. And it's caused a massive infrastructure problem that Austin's living with now. The expansion of I-35 is the hot button issue in Austin right now, whereas you guys have done a tremendous job for generations on trying to think ahead of the progress. How does that – is that kind of the culture within the departments over at your Public Works, or is that something that – is driven kind of by you guys looking into the future and having a plan.
Yeah, I could speak on our side, and I know City of San Antonio and Bexar County are two different entities, but the one thing that we do have in common with Luis and myself is, for example, right now, we partner together and we learn together in conferences like this, that we're able to pick each other's ideas and say, okay, this worked for us, this didn't work for us, and kind of
collaboration.
Yeah. So that's one of the best things we've partnered. And I say it's a good partnership between the city and the county. So
Right.
Yeah, just to piggyback on, I think that's one of the keys in San Antonio. It's we don't work in silos. I think like Aaron said, Bexar County, the city of San Antonio, we work hand in hand with our MPO, Metropolitan Planning Organization, which it's ran by a lot of our city council members. So the collaboration within San Antonio, it's not done in silos. It's looking at everybody's benefit, working with our adjacent counties. So it's not a one-man show. It's teamwork, and that's what it takes.
We've done a phenomenal job at it. You talked about bond projects. What's on the horizon for funding these projects besides maybe a bond project? Is there anything that y'all are looking at now innovatively to maybe public-private partnerships or federal funding coming your way, et cetera? Just what's on the horizon?
Actually, those are two. You hit it right on the head. So our main source of funding for our capital project it's our bond program, right? So that's where we get our funding every 5 years through the citizens. But we're always looking for opportunities. We were just very successful recently on being able to get a federal grant for one of our major. Pretty close to Ritterman and Gibbs Sprawl. We have a railroad crossing on Ritterman. So that creates a lot of traffic congestion. So we're always looking at opportunities. So we were just granted that fund to do an overpass over that railroad. So you're right. Federal funding is one way to look at that. So our transportation planning folks are always on the lookout for new opportunities. Every fiscal year, there's always opportunities to get funding through our general fund. But yeah, we're always looking ahead and see how we can fund our projects. Yeah.
Okay. Now, for those of you that didn't know, San Antonio is also called Military City. These boys are wearing the insignia of Military City, USA.
Yes.
Talk to us about TXAPWA next year, right? We're not closing this one down yet. Nobody's got to go home yet.
Give us like a trailer preview of what we can expect. Get excited for next year.
Well, yeah. I don't want to spoil it, man.
Okay.
I want you guys to get surprised.
Spoilers.
But
all right.
But I tell you, San Antonio can put a big party together. These guys, led by Aaron, they know how to throw a party. So if you've been to Fiesta, you've been to San Antonio, you guys know we can put something together.
Nice.
We're happy to have you guys there back in 2017. So I can tell you we're not going to disappoint you guys next year.
That's awesome.
Waco's been a great place, but I tell you, San Antonio, we want to kick it up a notch.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I can't say it better than Luis just said it, so it's going to be fun.
Talk to me a little bit. Want to close on kind of the same thing we've asked others. We come to TPWA, this event, the Mammoth, or the annual conference every year to share ideas, share best practices, but more importantly to discuss challenges that you're having within your own departments. What are some challenges that other public works departments may be experiencing that you're going through right now, so we can share the challenges and all build a solution around it?
I think for our department, our biggest challenges and I think just not in public works, I think in a lot of companies is staffing, labor issues, trying to get hiring people, which is the biggest one. We could have all the project and all the money in the world to do it, but if we don't have the manpower to do it, that's the biggest challenges that we have right now.
Okay.
So if anybody's out there looking for a job for Bexar County, www.bear.org, and that's BEXAR.org. So.
What he meant to say was sanantonio.gov
Correction.
/HR. Yeah, I tell you, that's been a big challenge for us to be able to deliver bond programs. We can't do that within the city. We need the partnership with you guys,
right?
TCPA. We need the partnership with consultants and contractors. I mean, it's a teamwork. So we need the private sector desperately. We can't do our job without you guys. So you guys are just essential to what we do. So getting that those resources has been a challenge. The market hasn't been easy. So working within our budgets has been challenging. So we've been working closely with our consultants, with our project managers, to come up with innovative ways to still deliver a project to our citizens within budget, on time. It's been challenging.
Yep.
So we have to come up with innovative ways to do value engineering, to look at ways to look at those long lead items. That's been a big challenge in some of our vertical projects, where we have to do substitute materials and things like that. So it's a challenge that all municipalities are dealing with.
With to go on what you're talking about as far as materials and essential, how essential would you say concrete is to overall resilient and sustainable infrastructure? Everything from your roadways to your development to your highway to your storm drain. How essential would you say concrete is to promoting that resilient infrastructure?
I tell you, it's right on the top of our list, right?
Yep.
Resiliency, it's one of our top goals for this next bond program. We're looking at innovative ways to ensure whatever resources we spend within our infrastructure are things that are going to last. Things that are going to don't require maintenance, don't require a lot of work. So
life cycle costs, something you can put in is going to last a while. Yeah,
that is correct. So so concrete, not only on our roadways, on our infrastructure, inlets and pipes, it's a huge investment. It's a huge opportunity to do. Look at ways to. When you talk about sustainability, it's not only, like you said, the capital cost, but it's also the O&M, the operations and maintenance, ensuring that's minimized as much as possible.
Right. Aaron, from a storm drain perspective in San Antonio, we had the public works director from Waco on earlier, and one of the challenges she's going through is some of their system was built in designed in the early 1900s. I mean, they have a issue where they're really trying to go in and upgrade the system. Are you experiencing some of that domino effect where aging infrastructure is kind of in need of major rehab or repair now, and you're kind of going in through your system and making those rehabilitations?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're struggling with that. Currently, we're trying to find all our assets that are underground, which is a challenge.
Right.
And then once we find them, we try to figure out what's the deterioration on the actual asset,
right,
and then replacing it. And then that comes into the innovative way of repairing it. Typical repair back in 10 years ago is dig stuff out, put new stuff in, but that disturbs the traffic and people complain. So we're looking at innovative ways to actually repair pipes without having to dig up the road.
Got it.
Spiral line piping, CIPP. Something that's just more innovative, a little less cost effective, and just less effective on the communities having to dig stuff out.
Yeah, the impact on the community the impact on the traveling community is definitely less.
The impact, yes.
Which and that could go back into just what I was talking about concrete. Certain things with the design life cycle. When the right product's put in place, then you don't have to worry about kind of anything like that for years on end. Which is one thing we like to say about concrete is that it's Texas strong.
Yeah.
We love Texas strong. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Patrick.
San Antonio,
Thank you so much.
am I saying it right? Bexar County.
Bexar County.
Bexar County. God, I was close. Bexar County. We're looking forward to next year coming to San Antonio. You put the carrot out far, so I'm looking forward to it. You didn't tell me too much, so I'm excited now.
We'll
I'm gonna go ahead and book my hotel for that one. So we're excited. Again, thank you for coming. We still have another day here at this APWA conference. So we have one more podcast we're going to do. Surprise guest. We'll let you know when we get there. Patrick, you got anything else you want to throw on as we're going out?
I don't.
No?
Knock it out of the park.
Not even a God bless Texas?
Oh, God bless Texas.
There you go. There you go. This is Highways and Hometowns with TCPA. I'm Steve. That's Patrick. See you next time. God bless Texas.